Welcome friends. And some of you will hopefully recognize what is playing in the background right now. Give me a bit because I had to modify my setup a bit for this particular stream. So I need to, I should be a bit more centered now. I'm always forgetting stuff. Give me a sec. There we go. Yes. Let's try that again. Welcome friends to what's become a bit of a tradition here on my channel, and it's me reacting to top lists, usually a top 100 list of best PC games in general, preferably of all time, since I haven't played anything new in several years, technically speaking. But definitely I remember doing the PC Gamer Top 100 of 2024, and yeah, that was something. So it seems we're back in season. The lists are coming back in season, and I really enjoy doing these streams. So yeah, although this year I'm doing something different in the sense that I know I am out of touch and arguably out of time with the new stuff. So whilst there may be some shit talking coming from me in this stream, I'm gonna use it more as a learning experience, a learning opportunity for me, basically to find out what the new stuff is. Not that I'm interested in or planning to play it, just for my general knowledge. Hey Unicom, welcome. No, it shouldn't remind you of Dice Poker from fucking Witcher. It's Drakenzang, the music from Drakenzang. Anyway, that might have been a bit too loud. Anyway, so with that setup being set up, let's see. Welcome to the PC Gamer Top 100, our annual list. So they do this each year. Of the best games you can play right now. So it's not the best games of 2025. It's just in general the best games you can play right now. And on that, I definitely have thoughts, which, if you follow my channel, you kind of seen some of them for the last few months. Team busy campaigning, voting, whatever. It's a list designed to represent the passion of our global team of over 30 writers and editors. Again, Unicom, how come we've never been one of these passionate writers or editors? Just saying. If you're wondering why Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire is back on the list for the first time in years, it's because Josh made a fully animated PowerPoint. Well, which Josh? Josh Sawyer? Presentation that he delivered to the team while dressed up as a pirate. I think he could do that. Like, I wouldn't put it past him to do that, dressing up like a pirate and doing a presentation. Not everyone went to those lengths, blah 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 blah. As always, the key question when creating a list is, what does it mean to be the best? The best around. That's the second 80s hit I sort of sang, so strap in, kids. Is it a canon classic, a game that can be ignored for its legacy to all of PC gaming? You know, when you talk about legacy of PC gaming, this is where you should be watching shit. As in my channel, where you should be getting your info from. Is it an original idea offering up something that's never been seen before? Like a waffle made out of duck. Or more simply, is it a finely I know that exists, but sounds tasty. Or more simply, is it a finely crafted masterpiece, the pinnacle of its chosen genre? In truth, the answer is that that can be any. Okay. Wait, apparently this year they only have 3 characteristics. I think last year there was a couple more. Quality, how good is it? A purely personal rating of its caliber as a game. Importance, how noteworthy is it? Its influence on other games and beyond, 20%. Only 20% for importance is... And freshness slash how unique is it? Its ability to stand out from other games. Well. Importance and freshness are way around the top 100's role as an annual list. Yeah, too much way into importance. And the list remains stagnant each year. Too much freshness. Okay. Yeah, whatever. We then take a few custom tweaks. In the interest of variety, we restrict the list to 1 game per series. Oh, thank you. Haven't I been saying this? Haven't I said this several times? We will include multiple if we feel the games are different enough from each other to both be worth mentioning. Arguable. For instance, Baldur's Gate 2 and 3. Otherwise, the lower scoring are removed. Okay. Voter can page for change. Yeah. Okay. Let's just get the show on the proverbial road. 100 Unavowed. This was released in 2018 apparently, and it's unavowed, it's not avowed. I'm extremely relieved that Unavowed managed to slip in at the end, though this is best adventure game. Oh, okay, so they started with an adventure game. That's nice. And that's simply one of the best adventure game ever made. Let's chill the fuck down from 100 with one of the best adventure games ever made. I'm not saying it's not good. I'm just saying 2018 kinda young to be in that area, but fair enough. Whether you're an old school point and click aficionado or have more modern sensibilities, a smart, pleasantly tangled supernatural story. A roster of supernatural investigators, from a hardball fire mage to a spirit medium with a tiny BFF, waiting to help you on your cases, clever puzzle, blah 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 blah. If you've got an appetite for urban supernatural affairs like Dresden Files or Constantine, you're gonna have a great time. That does sound like a great time. They said that no one's really picked up the formula laid down by Unavowed, blah 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 blah. Well, fair enough. Again, it sounds cute. I don't know about one of the best ever made. Again, kinda young for that. Cities Skylines from 2015. Whoa, okay. So they ended or started off with an adventure game and then a city building game, which I think is already way more than the past years, to be honest. Hey, graphics real. If you're buying it, buy it from GOG using my affiliate link, please. The sequel has dented the brand, but the original City Skyline remains a supreme impressive city builder. Yeah. The only reason I have never played any of the Cities games, despite my massive log of city building videos, especially I don't know if you've seen this, but I have basically it's a city building iceberg video. It's one where I go for like 37 titles or something, anyway, from the past 30 something years. The only reason why I haven't played it is because it's in modern day, and for whatever reason, city building games that are set in that are contemporaneously basically with me have zero appeal for me. I either wanted to be in the past, preferably the distant past, although Soviet Republic Workers and Resources, it's arguable, or futuristic, sci-fi, post-apocalyptic. For some reason, you know, because you go out the door and there's cities and roads and shit, and I see where the fascination can be. I just don't share it. Oh, holy shit, Against the Storm. Hey, this is one I've played. So if you've been around the channel for a while, you know that I've streamed Against the Storm probably in 2023, probably earlier than that, because I think I had the early access and whatnot. And yet another city builder technically, but this does do something really cool and unique, and because it's kind of like a roguelike. Let's see. Strikes the perfect balance of resource accumulation, coziness. Bake pies for frogs. Brew beaver's beer. Fair enough. Delight your hit loving and managing the art is warm, effortlessly readable, and the starch of the game is. Look, I'm glad it's here. I really enjoy Against the Storm, and the only reason I haven't really went back to it is because it's a new game, and in the past, well, exactly 2 years, I've been pivoting almost exclusively into retro PC gaming. So if it's newer than 2010, I probably won't play it. There's a couple of exceptions. Dwarf Romantic, just because it's fucking Dwarf Romantic, and that game's been with me, and I've been with that game ever since its demo. And the occasional stream where I'll stream something like the Heroes Olden Era demo, which I've done yesterday and last week. Hey Dav, welcome. But yeah, no, definitely cool. Against the Storm, definitely dope. Dave the Diver. I feel I've heard. I think I've seen this one on one of these other lists at a certain point. It's an underwater platformer. I got nothing on Dave the Diver. I don't know. Oh, I got something on this one. Hello. Well now. Wait. During yesterday's stream, I had forgotten my face tracking on the camera, and I literally Unicom. If you've seen the Discord, you know I said that maybe I'll turn on the face tracking if I ever stream Shadowrun Returns again, so that it's thematic. There we go. So just for this entry, it's cyberpunk mode. Look, it doesn't matter what they say about this. I've covered all of the Shadowrun Return trilogy, I call it, and it individually and as a whole. And whilst I definitely say that the first Shadowrun Returns is something of a I consider it sort of a very advanced tech demo of what the engine can do and what you can do in the engine. Not taking anything away from the game or the story. It's a very fun sort of hard-boiled detective type story, which is nice. It's light, but both in terms of storytelling and mechanical polish, they really came into their own with Shadowrun Dragonfall, which is also the director's cut, which is the second game in the series, where they overhauled the mechanics to a certain degree, make some stuff smoother. But what truly stands out in Dragonfall is how impactful the characters around you are. Your fellow runners, they are written very, very well. And I do hope that anyone who hasn't played any of the Shadowrun titles plays all of them. But if you're gonna play just one, play Dragonfall, and take the time after each run to talk to all of your teammates and see how much information about themselves you can get from them, and then how much stuff you can extrapolate based on what they tell you and what you find out from other people and other events. But yeah, so first Shadowrun Returns is a pretty decent, a very advanced tech demo. Shadowrun Dragonfall has the best characters, and Shadowrun Hong Kong has the best story in itself. It's, yeah, they're great. They're great. I'm surprised, honestly. I'm already surprised by the both Against the Storm and this being on here. That said, let's turn off the cyberpunk vibe and let's see what's next. Dusk. I believe Dusk is a very retro infused shooty pew pew game, as I call it. Yeah, released 2018. Oh, it's been a while. Yeah, so it says lo-fi movement and exploration, heavy FPSs. Remains fresh and surprising. Yeah, again, never played it, but if you dig it, that's totally fine. I have played let's just say of an FPS centered game video is coming up, but that's all I'll say at this point in time. Metaphor Rifantatio or Rifantasio, I don't know. I would read it Fantatio because yeah. This is a new game. Yeah, it's 2024 because I remember seeing, you know, people who play new shit talk about it. Says not to Persona. I wasn't either, and it didn't matter. Even if you aren't comparing it to some of Atlas's other games, Metaphor Rifantatio stands on its own two leather boots as an excellent JRPG, which it shouldn't be because it's an election campaign trail is a terrible elevator pitch for a genre that usually hinges on killing God at some point. That's fine, although kind of stereotypical, but we all make that joke eventually. Yeah, I know, like, just from being on social media back then, I know that this was quite popular and whatnot. I really don't have anything on it. Now, Hotline Miami. This is something I should have... I likely should have played when it was released back in 2012. Back then I was covering exclusively indie games. So I think this game was just too popular for me to cover it, because even back then I used to cover mainly like lesser, quite obscure, smaller productions. And Hotline Miami was the talk of the town, as it were. I don't know if it's exactly... I mean, the game in itself, I understand, is fun and whatnot. Whether or not it's still super duper currently playable in the sense of wanting to play it, I don't know. But then again, probably not exactly in my sort of genre interest domain per se. This I haven't heard of. Lethal Company. Is it like some type of Among Us thingy? Because it says multiplayer wackiness. This hilarious co-op horror game. Yeah, so it's something around those lines, I guess. Okay, so it's multiplayer funkiness. Fair enough. If you're into that, go for it. Enjoy yourself. Microsoft Flight Simulator. I think Flight Simulator was in one of the prior lists, as in last year. This one, I guess, is always on this type of a list. Sometimes there's a large chunk of people. I'm sure there's quite a demographic out there who is really into planes and for one reason or another can't fly their own, and they dig it. Also, with nowadays graphics and whatnot, you can literally just see your house from up there, basically. So I think that's sort of partial of the appeal of something like this, in the sense that, look, maybe you won't be able to visit, I don't know, Machu Picchu. Maybe you can fly around it. I'm not sure. Team Fortress 2. I've never played Team Fortress 2. Unicom has many a story about it being fun and whatnot. I usually take his word on that. My days of playing multiplayer shooty stuff kinda ended with well, actually ended with Apex Legends some years ago. Yeah. Peak 2025. Whoa, June 2025, and it's already on the list. Woof. Friendship-based co-op fun. It's a genre I have never heard of. You and your friends must ascend while maintaining your stamina, naturally crafting moments of peak physical comedy via the power of positional voice chat and a physics engine that hates you. Okay. Or you can just yell at your coworkers. That sounds very uninteresting to me. But again, I'm not your average hey boob, I'm not your average babe. The Sims 4. Why 4? Well, or simulation. I think probably just because it's the most polished of them. I know Sims 2 was massive, especially on PS2 actually. Yeah, I guess. Sure. Honestly, I've never really known anyone who was a Sims player. Like that was their shit. Hey Glass, welcome. Nice to see you. They obviously exist because Sims was ginormous, but never in my necessarily group of human friends. Sure, we all played some Sims at a certain point. I played the first one, for instance, for a bit. But yeah, you know, it's kind of one of those birds of a feather type of thing. Like if it's not super duper in my interest pool, it's likely for it to not be super duper in the interest pool of anyone I interact with overall. But look, if you enjoy, I don't know, blocking off your sim in a bathroom with no toilets or whatever the fuck, like, or making them drown or some shit, and that's like therapeutic for you, fucking just do that. Go for it. Jovial Nobody. Well, look, I'll tell you this. At least as far as, because I looked into it. I don't know if it's Sims 2 or Sims 3 or whichever one, but yeah, Sims 2 at least was a very big crossover hit with what we used to call a more casual sort of female demo, who kind of grew out of it. But immediately after that generation, we kind of stopped necessarily saying that, because there's no real difference really anymore between like casual gamers are now. It's not just, I don't think the gender matters when it comes to casualness right now. Back then maybe, yeah, but right now it doesn't matter that much. Subnautica. I know this is a cool game. Never played it. Not that super. And look, I love water and whatnot. Because it has survival crafting, and it's kind of like a mild city builder, something dark side. Yeah, I was definitely playing and doing other things in 2018. You know what? I don't know. Give me a sec. Let me see which videos I released in 2018, and I'll tell you what I was doing back then, because that's how I can. I use my channel as a sort of an internal archive, a self-archive, self-chronicles. 2018. Oh, it is January. Okay, so then it should be 2017, technically speaking. Yeah, give me a sec. I'm just going to. Okay, so let me see. What did I cover in 2017? Oh, okay, cool. I covered They Are Billions, fun. Bannerman, fun. Hack, cute. Ebony Spire Heresy, very little known indie, fun indie game. Tronix Defender, Peace Death, Dragon Dungeon, Kingdoms and Castles. That's nice. Northgard, yeah. Fell Seal, ooh, the Dark Devotion Kickstarter. Shadowrun Hong Kong, Dragonfall and Returns. Immortal Planet. I also have a video on Johnny Mnemonic, which I had to unlist because that was a video. Yeah, so that's what I was doing back then. Yeah, didn't have time. Didn't have Subnautica time. Rocket League, immensely popular. Never played it. I'm certain it has some appeal. Never played it though. Considering how much I like Roll Cage, maybe I should have played it. Yeah, I don't know. I know people enjoy it, so yeah. Only the immense amounts of time I saw Raul playing this Unicam, so it has to have something to it. Thank goodness you're here. I think I've seen this one last year, sort of, maybe, because it's, well, last year it was released. Comedy slapformer. Filled with mini games, as unsettling as they're entertaining. I'm starting to see a bit of a trend with these newer games being made up of mini games, which kind of lends a bit more credence to the whole discourse around attention spans nowadays. Halo, the Master Chief Collection. Look, I played the first Halo when it eventually arrived on PC, and I liked it, and that was it. Yeah, I'm a very hard sell for FPSs. Never cared about the world, never really gave a shit about any of the Halos after that. Sometimes I forget it exists. Yeah. Echo Point Nova 2024. What the fuck is this? It's a sprawling open world FPS for trickshot sickos. It's co-op Doom for friends who'd spend entire nights trying to do cool stuff in Tony Hawk or Skate. Yeah, I was that sort of person and knew some people that would be the same. Well, back then. Now in our 40s, maybe less so, but if the right circumstances hit. If everyone is divorced at the same time, you know what I mean? It's the yes and movement shooter. Unconcerned with that was a dark joke, but yeah. It's the cure to boomer shooter bloat, all killer no filler. I don't know. I've never heard of Echo Point Nova. Trick shot with friends kind of sounds fun. I have no clue. Jovial Nobody, I have played Serious Sam, yes. Echo Point Nova is a beautiful arena shooter, extreme ports. Anyway, Clair Obscure Expedition 33. This is another game I've seen a lot of people talk about, and I understand it's really dope. Also, it's an RPG, and Shadowrun Returns is an RPG. So we already got 2 RPGs and 2 city builders. Okay, I guess something has changed in the intervening year. There's a disturbance in the mainstream force towards good. It's a good disturbance. Blueprints 2025. Is this another puzzle game? Became nearly solving a bunch of puzzle genre. Walking around a mysterious house solving a bunch of puzzle genre. That's an adventure game. Oh no. Oh, maybe it is. It says its roguelike elements can be occasionally frustrating, but the depth of the mansion's mysteries and the sheer brilliance of developers. So it's a roguelike point and click adventure, I guess. Maybe. Yeah. Okay, cool. Look, after the success that what was that deck building game, Slay the Spire, that was a super big hit, and it kind of brought the concept of a roguelike to a different format. It was only a matter of time till people started doing other stuff with it, such as Against the Storm, and probably this. I'm not sure. Stellaris. Definitely. And let me tell you this. Let me tell you something. Give me a sec. Let me open up my Steam, which, you know, despite me being a GOG stan, I still have Steam because I still have games on Steam. And I'm playing Path of Exile too, so it is what it is. But I have Stellaris on Steam and library. Hold on, give me a sec. Stellaris. I have Stellaris with a bunch of DLCs, a few DLCs, which, if I remember correctly, I got from a Humble Bundle like fucking years ago. Okay, let's see. Okay, so I have 85 hours in Stellaris. And I remember deciding, actually, Glass, if you remember, we played a couple of online matches. But I remember very consciously and actively stopping to play Stellaris because I was aware that if I go forward, if I go a little bit deeper, I would just be playing Stellaris, and I wanted my channel and basically I wouldn't have time for anything else, and I wanted a wider variety of titles on my channel. So I had to do like a bit of self-sacrifice and never install Stellaris, and I should never install Stellaris ever again, just so that I can continue my own personal task of participating in the documentation and preservation of PC gaming. But yeah, Stellaris, it's definitely one of the games you can definitely play. Stellaris is not turn-based, right? Yeah, like Glass said, it's basically paused for orders. So technically you can take a turn whenever you want. Yeah, not for nothing, because I knew, like, I had played enough, like I said, I played 85 hours of Stellaris, so I had played enough of it to start looking into mods. And I knew that once I start installing the fucking Star Trek mod, it would just be that shit. So, yeah. Should make a video about more Star Trek. Although I do have the video about Birth of the Federation, which I'm really happy I got to make. Cult of the Lamb. 2022 already? Woo! It's been a while. It's been a while. That's not from the 80s, but close enough. Yeah, I heard this was pretty fun, but I also understood it as it was kind of like it was a momentary blip in the gaming zone, in the gaming realm. Although if it's on this list, maybe it was a bit bigger than I thought. You never know. Glass says Paradox knows how to create video game crack. Yes, and they suck at anything else, especially fucking Tyranny, which you know I love. Like, if there's one more recent title that I'm willing to go back at and do some content on, is Tyranny. Because I was very recently reminded, someone commented on my video on Kairos, and I got reminded of the fact that in that video I say that I have another video planned for Tyranny, and now I'm thinking about going back to it for a bit to make that other lore video, because I just love Tyranny that much. Total War Warhammer 3. Okay, so this is a wider discussion. Give me a sec. Let me reposition my ass. This title is made up of two titles. Not wildly different titles, two titles that should have been together for a long time. Although it is Total War Warhammer 3, so it's the third one. Curious when the first one was released, though I doubt it was released before 2010, so likely I can have. So anyway, rewinding. Total War. Total War is a series of games that started a long ass time ago with, and correct me if I'm wrong, I'm likely not wrong, Total War Shogun, which, as the name would imply, takes place in Japan. That game was not necessarily what you would call balanced, but it was dope. So after that, there's been any number of different Total Wars looking at other areas, other historical areas. Eventually, they finally got together and convinced GW, Games Workshop, who own the license and who print the resin crack of Warhammer, to finally make a Total War Warhammer game, which makes even more sense because Warhammer is a war game, a tabletop war game. So it deals with squadrons and squads and battalions and shit like that. And I am a big fan of Warhammer 40k, which you may have been able to tell from me covering Battle Sector for so many DLCs, which, by the way, I stopped doing because that's, again, that's just too new of a title and it doesn't gel with the rest of my channel, and those videos tend to bomb. So yeah, sometimes you have to make decisions that have to do with stuff that isn't necessarily linked to your particular awesome quotient, but it's not like I'm playing shit in exchange. Also, there's a bunch of older Warhammer 40k games that I plan on going to. Now, Glass, I cannot play Rogue Trader either. Again, it's too new. Probably when I'm a much older man, I'll get around to it. So yeah, I'm sure these games are awesome. I tend to occasionally see shorts of like unit animations and sounds and stuff, and they're wonderfully gross. I so happen to see like the fucking Nurgle ones and shit like that. So I think it's cool. I think it's dope. I think this is the type of collaboration that maybe should have happened earlier. But yeah, no, I got nothing. I got nothing on this one. There may or may not be a Warhammer 40k tinged video at some point in the not near future, but mid future. But again, we'll have to wait and see. What remains of Edith Finch? I've heard about this game. Isn't this is a wait? Arrived towards the end of the walking sim craze, yeah, that swept the 2010s indie scene. Yeah, I remember, but I don't. Is this what it looked like, or I may be confusing this with a different game from the era? Because it says release 2025. I'm super confused. Give me a sec. Yeah, I'm not confused at all. It shouldn't look like that. Or it does. I don't know. On Steam apparently it looks like that, but all of the other images I've seen. Anyway. Yeah, I've heard about this, and I've heard people reference it in a positive manner. And, you know, more power to you. It's fine. Ooh, Alien Isolation. 2014. The image is cool. Unfortunately, it kind of gives me Prometheus flashbacks. I fucking hated Prometheus. I think I still do. I didn't just hate it. I still hate it. And nowadays, I like to consider myself a bit more... Look, I've aged. I've learned some stuff about myself and others, and I'm a bit more well-adjusted, I like to think. And one of the things I have done is I've stopped saying I hate things. I think hate, the word hate, should be relegated to, you know, I hate corruption, I hate cancer, I hate fascists, that sort of stuff. You can hate, I think you're allowed to hate that. A movie or a game or a book or whatever the fuck, that's too much of a bad feeling for it. All of that said, I think I still hate fucking Prometheus, just remembering. Just the basic memory of it. Huh. Hey, Graphic Reel, thank you. Also, I appreciate it, but I have like a goal for super chats. You could have used that for a secret question. I don't know how it works. Just try to click the thingy that's like 0 or 5 and see what's what. Okay, so my diatribe, my tangent of me hating Prometheus aside, Alien Isolation. I remember Alien Isolation being a really dope title that people loved. Not my thing. Also, 2014 was a very big year for me. A lot of stuff happened, and I wasn't in the Alien Isolation mood, let's just say. Monster Hunter World, never played any of these motherfuckers, but I know that people enjoy them, and I've seen people enjoy making cosplays of the things, the various armors and weapons and shit. And look, if any piece of art inspires that sort of a fan base and passion, I got nothing but respect. Ooh, Cyberpunk 2077. Wait. Since we're still, it's Cyberpunk. Oh yeah. This is the dumbest bit I've thought of, but I'm enjoying doing it a lot. So anyway, I haven't played Cyberpunk 2077, but wait, there we go. I disappeared a bit. So I haven't played it. I followed its development and the stuff and things, and it looked kind of interesting, but maybe a bit too, I don't know what to tell you, flashy maybe, not necessarily, but not exactly my particular brand of vodka or cyber vodka, if we're going that way. I'd much rather play Shadowrun Returns, just to give it. But hey, if you enjoy it, enjoy it. I got nothing. Also, looking at it from a different perspective, it's definitely helping to keep the lights on at the GOG headquarters. So hey, I'm looking at my interest here for towards the preservation of PC gaming and my affiliate. Did I mention I have a GOG affiliate link? Okay, let's stop the cyberpunk madness now. Glass says he played it 3 times and remembers someone's ass and whatnot. I don't know, I think maybe DLCs? I don't know. Oh shit, son. Wait a minute. We got FTL in this bitch. I don't remember if FTL was last year, but it's definitely playable as shit. I have a video on it, and I did, I want to say last year? Let me see. Let me see. I don't think it was last year, dog. Oh no. Oh no. It was. Wait, what? Was it? Am I? No. Am I? Give me a sec. Sorry. No. Okay, yeah. Last year, in the summer of last year, yeah. I made a video about it, just because it's dope. And apparently, there's like, I haven't looked into it, but there's like this ginormous sort of modding community behind it that has really enhanced the game and made it so much bigger than it is, in terms of scope, I mean. But yeah, definitely. Nobody? Well, I don't know what to tell you. Like, sometimes I get that. I understand that. Sometimes for me, well, not sometimes, a lot of times for me actually, if something gets too much hype, I lose interest. I don't know exactly why. Regardless of how good or bad it is, sometimes just the hype of something will kill my interest in it forever. Vampire Survivors. Heard about this game, never played this game. I know people enjoy it. That's all I got. Alan Wake 2. Yet another, I mean, this list up until now has been, its vibe, the vibe of this list has been very different from the one from last year, and from most of the ones from last year, to be honest. Unicom says Vampire Survivors is like reverse schmoop cocaine. I don't even know what that means. But if you want to make a video on it, that would be a great title for it. Splinter Cell Chaos Theory. Oh, from 2005. Fuck me, I could play this. I could cover this on the channel. Okay. Never really super into any of the Splinter Cell games. Stealth, while I'm a fan of stealth in conceptually speaking, gaming wise, it's never really, yeah, I haven't really played any super duper stealthy game. Trying to think about it. Yep, nope, not really. I haven't played for a long period of time. I haven't played. I tried Thief, sure. I've never played any of the Hitman titles. But I do know there's a bunch of Splinter Cells and a bunch of Hitman titles people like. So maybe one day I'll do a Splinter Cell, maybe. But on the other hand, I did Project Iggy. It's very different interest domains there. GTA 5 Enhanced. It is, okay, wait, it says it may be 12 years old. Oh, the Enhanced, I guess, was released in 2023 and original release date is 2013. Look, I stopped playing GTA after San Andreas. Mainly because GTA 4 was just a resource hog. I could not play anymore on my then computer. And I don't really think that neither the setting nor the story was as interesting. For me, peak is obviously Vice City, with San Andreas being a close second, mainly because of the music and the music in both, and for Vice City also the clothing and whatnot. First two GTAs were fun. Look, I wanted to do a video, so I have a video on GTA 2 which I'm gonna share now. And for me, it didn't work. It did not work anymore for the reasons I talk about in the video. Like sometimes the memories we have about the thing aren't actually related to the thing. The memories we have include that thing, but they are actually about what we were doing at the time and the people we were doing it with. It's kind of the point. And I also tried earlier this year, I think, or last year, because I wanted to go back to try the first one, and again, it just there's something that's not the same for me, and I don't want to make negative videos anymore. Not that I've made a lot of them, but I just don't. There's not the energy I want to put out there, because it doesn't actually help. It may help, view count and shit like that, but that's not why I'm doing this, what I'm doing this for. Resident Evil 2 remake. Never played any of these. I know people love them. I got nothing else. Have fun. Deep Rock Galactic. Yeah. I'm glad to see this relatively small-ish title, having garnered this crazy sort of both popularity and also community. It's the weird thing is that Deep Rock Galactic, a bunch of the people from Deep Rock Galactic are Danes, and I applied for jobs at Deep Rock Galactic, never got any sort of interest, of course not. But I'm glad they did something really awesome. Ghost Ship Games, I think, is the studio. Mass Effect Legendary Edition. I've never played any of them. I've never played any interest. I never had any interest in playing any of them, nor do I do now, nor will I ever. That's it. I've played more Counter-Strike than I've played any Mass Effect game, and I haven't played a lot of Counter-Strike. Counter-Strike 2. This is not that Go thing. Anyway, look, Counter-Strike is massive, has been massive, it still is massive as a big as an esport. It's always going to be played for as far as I can tell. I'm wondering if StarCraft or StarCraft 2 is going to be here. Yeah, we'll see. Okay, so they conflate the CS2 with CSGO. Yeah, fair enough. Or not fair enough. But the idea is a Counter-Strike will continue to strike. Oh. This is surprising. Diablo 2. It's not even Diablo 2 Resurrected or whatever the fuck. Oh no, it mentions Diablo 2 Resurrected Remastered is excellent. If you want a more modern, but not too modern. Fair enough. I'm surprised. I mean, it's Resurrected, which whatever. But look, hey, if you want to play Diablo 2, but not Diablo 2, if you want to play like Diablo 2.5, just look for a mod called Median Excel and just play that. Don't give Blizzard any of their money. Diablo 2 seems to be the oldest one on the list yet, yeah. By far. Gary's mod. I've heard about this thing basically ever since it came out. Trust me when I tell you, I have no idea what it is. I don't know who Gary is. I don't know what this is a mod of. But if you enjoy yourself and you don't hurt anyone else, why should I give a shit? And as you can see, I'm not looking into it because I'm that disinterested. Ooh, Star Wars Knights of the Old Republicos 2. Now, KOTOR 1 and 2, you would think I would have played them since it's very RPG, very CRPG, and it's also like arguably sci-fi, but more sci-fi, but Star Wars, whatever. Again, at the time of release, well, when the first one was released, I definitely didn't have a computer capable of playing it. When this one was released, I did. But again, for some reason, sometimes things don't synchronize. They don't synchronize with where you are at any point in time. And even if at a certain point you would have gotten there, there is usually other stuff for you to interact with. This is valid. It's valid for games, but it's also valid for TV shows, movies, bands, albums, etc. Yakuza 0. The Yakuza series, I know is usually very appreciated. I understand a couple of them, a bunch of them are also on PC. Was never interested. I know people enjoy the shit out of them. Arma 3, this feels suspicious. I know the Arma games have generally been appreciated. I've never played any of them. But look, if it's on the list, I imagine people still kick its ass. I know Battlefield has recently has had a new entry released, so these pew pew games are always gonna have some amount of separate demo, and this one especially, because I understand it says here it's a military sim more than just pew pew, so you know. Satisfactory. Ooh. Not exactly a city builder, but somewhere there, I guess. Yeah, it's again, this list is so, it feels so much different than the list from last year. Stalker, Call of Pripyat, Enhanced Edition. Now, this, I haven't played this one. I played the first Stalker, whatever the fuck that one's called. I think that one was just called Stalker. I'm not sure. And I enjoyed it. I liked it. Except for the ending. Ending was fucking weird. But whatever. Up until then, it was real cool. I haven't played any of them, any of the subsequent ones. Can't exactly say why. But I do know, again, massive community, especially in Eastern Europe for obvious reasons. Yeah, I think I should look at the first Stalker, maybe for next year. Nier Automata, popular game with a certain demo, which we kind of all know why. That notwithstanding, apparently it's also a good game. Not the type of stuff I play, so. System Shock 2 25th Anniversary Remaster. Now, was this the one that kind of wasn't, it was released but it was kind of janky? Can't remember for sure. The original System Shock 1 and 2, great fucking games. Okay, so the remake was the janky one. Okay, cool, thanks. The Case of the Golden Idol. Oh, okay. Don't think I've heard of this one. Detective puzzles are full of bizarre and fascinating narratives spanning decades. So way more adventure games by far, and RPGs. Like, what the hell happened? The Elder Scrolls 3 Morrowind. Wait, hold everyone's horses. Ah, fuck, this means Skyrim is in top 5. Because they said they would only use one, but if it's different enough, they're gonna use 2 and the same. Look, I'm glad it's Morrowind. I'm glad it's not Skyrim. It would be dope for there to be no Skyrim in this list. But I think they're gonna, I think they're gonna slip the Skyrim in later. But yeah, Morrowind was still made in a time when resizing your in-game windows on the fly was a thing, and when the games were brokenable, because they weren't breakable in the sense of it glitched out, but there was a bunch of exploits and things you could do. Also, ginormous community, and if you do want to play it nowadays, look into modding it and getting it, sprucing it up a bit. Papers, Please. This was everywhere when it was released. Like, part of that indie wave from the first half of the 2010s, and it kind of coincided with streaming really taking off, so that's why it's an interesting sort of milestone place marker within recent history of both gaming and streaming, and how the two became a thing. Tom Clancy's Rainbow Six Siege X. I don't know if X is 10 or it's just X. Rainbow Six. I think I've played a Rainbow Six Raven Squadron or some shit. I do not remember for sure. But again, not X gon' give it to you. Nice one, Unicum, thanks. But again, not exactly my particular brand of nonsense. Oh, this is my particular brand of nonsense. Yes, Dragon Age Origin. Again, another CRPG. It's a lot of them. There's been a lot of them, which is nice to see. Much like with other things and other series out there, I played Dragon Age Origins, really loved it. I played its expansion, really loved that. I never played any of them after it, just because what I saw was not enticing, was not interesting to me. But this one still remains a fun, very playable game. I played and streamed a little bit of it because I needed some gameplay footage for a list video I made. And if you pay attention to my videos, usually at the middle of the video I have a call to action, which is like, if you like what you're seeing and want to delve deeper into the history of PC retro gaming, click like and subscribe and keep the flame alive. The flame that lights up is actually the it's not the fires of Gondor, although if I find a good footage of that I will. It's when you light up the beacon at the beginning of Dragon Age Origins. Yeah, very much awesome, very much still very playable. Okay. We're at 50. I need to take a quick bio break. But yeah, we'll return to talk about Sid Meier a little bit. Give me a sec. And we're back. Sid Meier's Alpha Centauri. Forget Civ, folks. Folks, yeah, don't forget Civilization. You can never forget Civilization. Though Alpha Centauri is a very particular type of implementation of Civilization, and that's kind of cool because it did sort of appeal to oddly enough, someone who wouldn't necessarily play Civilization for one reason or another would play Alpha Centauri, which is fine. Nothing wrong with that. Cool. Persona 5 Royale. I have no knowledge or experience about this series of games, except that I know people play them and that they're JRPG-ish, and that in general each title kind of tends to do something I don't know if necessarily new, but kind of different. At least that's what I've managed to get out of it. But I was never... It's really, really hard to get me, especially at my level of knowledge, experience, and honestly jadedness, to be interested in stuff I'm not already primed to be interested in. And this isn't something I would be primed to be interested in. Neither is Final Fantasy X or X2 HD remaster. This one is a weird... This is a weird. First of all, I didn't even know it was on PC, to be honest. In general, I associate the Final Fantasy series with console gaming. So much so that I've never actually played... I played Final Fantasy VII barely when it got its official PC port in 20... maybe 12-ish, I want to say. I'm not sure. And it's kind of fun. But again, it wasn't necessarily something that I played it for a while. I got the gist of it. It's not... It wasn't super hypey for me, necessarily. As in, the hype wasn't necessarily equal to my actual experience of it. What hype was real is for VTMB. Likewise, I had never played Vampire the Masquerade Bloodlines for most of my life, but I had friends who played it and were really big fans, and I understood and I knew about the community, and that the tabletop game, and there's LARPers, and there's all kinds of stuff. I was aware of the hype, and I actually started playing it, I think around 2020, because that's when there was much more time to experiment on it, and I streamed a bunch of it, and I was very glad to see that the hype was actually valid. It paid off. I really enjoyed as much of the game as I played, and I stopped playing it because I could see everything I've heard about it, like about the depth and the interestingness of the stories, and trying different types of vampire, families, factions, classes, I don't know what they're called, clans, would give you different experiences. So the idea is I could see the time investment that it would have necessitated for me to get a good sense of the game, that I decided basically to not play it, just because at that time I was doing all of these other kind of things. So I haven't actually restarted it. At a certain point in the future, I will. But yeah, this one was definitely worth the hype. Hey, Founder's Box. No, you're just midway through. Still got a bunch to go. Also, you can always check out the replay. Yeah. Wildermyth. So not only does this list up until now have way more CRPGs and RPGs in general, and also adventure games, it somehow has way more games that I've played actually than I expected. Now, Wildermyth. I made a video about Wildermyth a long time ago. Back when it was still in early access. And I'm gonna post it in the chat in case you haven't seen it. And yeah, this game is... It says basically, what if XCOM runs were also procedurally generated D&D campaigns? It is a very good encapsulation of Wildermyth. It's such an awesomely interesting take on both turn-based tactical combat and with an overworld with a somewhat roguelike approach to its timeline, it being fantasy. Yeah, it's awesome. It's awesome to see Wildermyth here on this list. It's really awesome to see Shadowrun Returns Dragonfall. Dragon Age Origins, arguable, it should be anyway, but these two, yeah, really, Against the Storm also. What the fuck? Against the Storm. Yeah, I got it. If you haven't played Wildermyth and you're into XCOM and or D&D, definitely check out my video. And if you're gonna buy it from GOG with my affiliate link. This I haven't heard of. Straftat. What is this? Slapstick Quake. Ah, thank you. Is the world's only French 1v1 FPS that features cigarettes as cosmetic DLC. Fun. A brutalist playground that you bring variously clownish and exotically violent. They are okay, so it's another one of these goofy multiplayer, have fun, relaxing type of games. It's not a get good type of game. Fair enough. Into the Breach, we had FTL earlier. Again, it's another game I played. Like, not only did I play it, I obviously also covered it. Let's see. When am I Into the Breach video? There we go. And yeah, Into the Breach is... I would argue Into the Breach is even more playable than FTL, because FTL has RNG, has a lot of RNG fuckiness in it. You can have a great run and in your last sector it all goes to shit and there is nothing you can do about it. Into the Breach is less so. You have much more control. You have a lot of control over your team, what your team is outfitted with, which biomes you can go into. Yeah, Into the Breach is crazy dope. The Stanley Parable Ultra Deluxe. Never played this. Kerbal Space Program. Heard a lot about it. I know people actually use, I don't know if they use this or something like it, sometimes in class, in various physics classes. But I do know that there are there's some older players who've used it to introduce younger players to more complex, more complicated, let's say, sort of gaming systems, and this whole idea of tech research and development and whatnot. So yeah, sure. Hollow Knight, Abs of Steel. I've never played it. Again, I don't know if you've been in and around gaming, the gaming internet in general, over the past, honestly, 10 years. Hollow Knight has come up sooner or later. Okay, so Pillars of Eternity 2 Deadfire actually is here, and I haven't gotten to this one. I played a bit of the first Pillars of Eternity, and the thing is, I played it just after release, and they added and changed and polished a lot of the mechanics afterwards, because just after release there was something in the especially in the leveling system and in the way in which the classes work that I just really didn't gel with me. And I understand a lot of that stuff got polished when subsequent patches and DLCs and stuff. So I never got around to getting back to it, unfortunately. And I definitely didn't get to play Pillars of Eternity 2. Especially now that even the first one was released after 2010, I'm pretty sure, which again is my let me check, but yeah, no, please, I think it was 2015, yeah, which is way past my 2010 cutoff date, so unlikely for me to get back to it, because again there's so many older RPGs that I would need to look at long before I get around to Pillars of Eternity. And like I said earlier, if there's one recent CRPG that I kind of have to do another video on, a lore video on, it's gonna be Tyranny. But yeah, I mean, Deadfire, from what I understand, it's really dope. And from what I also further understand is that eventually there was a mod that made it turn-based, which is what a lot of us older school CRPG players want. And they made that an optional thing from within the actual game with like, I don't know, subsequent patches and whatnot. So that's also cool. Hunt Showdown 1896. Believe it or not, but I actually played this. Unfortunately, it was kind of close to when it was released in early access. So the servers were janky, unfortunately. And it's a really cool sort of take on what I was talking about earlier about like the multiplayer pew pew genre, because the less pew pew you do, the better. And granted, keeping hidden is also great. But yeah, it definitely had a lot of potential back when I played it, and I imagine, since it's still here in this list, I imagine it got better over time. Oh, Slay the Spire, here it is. Like, Unicam went to bed, but yeah, I mentioned Slay the Spire earlier, and I said that the success of this game, what the success of this game meant is that it brought the concept of roguelite or roguelike to a much wider mainstream sort of audience. And after this happened, it was only a matter of time till developers did other things, put the roguelike, took the concept of roguelike and blended it with city builders in the case of Against the Storm, or with an adventure game apparently in that Blueprints game. But yeah, cool. Hitman: World of Assassination. Again, Unocam is sleeping, and he's my Hitman avatar because he's played these games. Again, for whatever reason, these types of, even the stealthy types of games, never really gelled for me, and I do not know why. But yeah. Max Payne was, it's kind of odd to see this here just because of its age. Yeah, Max Payne was so big when it was released for like years, because it says it's 2001 and I was in high school, and yeah, that is prime time for Max Payne, for something like Max Payne, high school age. Yeah, it was insanely everything. Everyone's talking about Max Payne, and look, it spawned, it has its own series and stuff. Nothing but good vibes about Max Payne. Spelunky, heard a lot about Spelunky. Never. It's an excavatory platformer. Although I have played and really enjoyed Crystal Caves. But again, since that one is retro as hell, I did play the HD, but it's so close to the original that it's fine. This one, 2013, it's still too new for me. Now, Hades is a very interesting title. Not interesting on the list, interesting in general, just because of how big of a splash it did on the indie scene, but also breaking into the mainstream. And I think that's much more so for its recently released sequel. I played it a little bit, and I get the general appeal and interest. Again, unfortunately, a bit too new for me to cover on the channel. But the other interesting thing is to see how super diverse basically the fan community for Hades is. That's nice to see. Portal 2. I never played any of these games. Return of the Obra Dinn. This is something that did appeal to me, but again, as I was saying earlier, it was so hyped, it was so covered that I just lost interest. But I do understand it's dope, so yeah. Metal Gear Solid 3 Snake Eater Master Collection version. I've not played any of these games. I've seen a lot of videos about them, and I know the lore is just what the fuckery on Rye. If you enjoy it or them or these games, sure. Very much not my jazz. This is very much my jazz, on the other hand. Holy hell, is it? Okay, maybe they put New Vegas because this year it's celebrated 15 years since release. And Wasteland, you should be like, if you're watching now, you probably are aware of my 2+ hour video. In which I go fairly in depth about the vanilla game and then all of its DLCs, and more than that, I connect some dots in between the vanilla and the DLC, some story and narrative dots. I linked it. And I also have a separate video. I don't think I stuck it onto that one. I had an epilogue video to the New Vegas series, in which basically I speculated about how it actually ends, because we up until recently we didn't really get we don't know what the canon ending of New Vegas is. Now, some of that information may or may not come out of the Fallout TV show, which I haven't watched, nor do I plan to watch, because, well, I've actually stopped watching newer stuff more years ago than games, with a couple of exceptions. So I'm not gonna watch that either. Just like I'm not gonna play new games. So there may be some, if that is canon, and I think it is, because it is being made in conjunction with Bethesda. This second season, I think they're going into New Vegas, so that may give us an idea of what the canon ending of Fallout New Vegas was or is. But I made this video, this epilogue video, where I go through the potential endings from New Vegas, and I use some maps and I explain some things from the older games. I think it's a pretty nice speculative video, but yeah. I'm again very serious RPG on the list. Very glad to see it. Pentiment is also made by Obsidian, and I've read a fair bit about it. It's very much not an RPG, but yeah, I did understand it's kind of like a detective adventure game, but set in medieval times something. I never looked that much into it. I understood it was good-ish, or pretty appreciated, and I left it at that. 9 Souls. This is a recent. It's an entry into the Sekiro-like genre. So Sekiro, I guess, is... I always thought that was like a Souls-like, or a Souls game, but apparently it's not. Apparently it's something else. Hey, look, if you like these type of things, sure. Like the one Demon Souls-like, or Souls-like I played and I did enjoy, is called Mortal Shell. Helldivers 2. This game got maybe a type of attention no game would have liked to get this year. But I do understand people enjoyed it prior to its unfortunate moment in the very mainstream. Deus Ex. Nice. Oh, wait. If anything, I like to run jokes into the ground. Can't get more cyberpunk than Deus Ex. yeah, it's one of those pillar. It's a pillar of PC gaming games for sure. And more so than that, I never really actually played it. Not to any large degree though. Because again, if I were to go into it now, this would probably take, I don't know, in order to get a proper sense of it, it would take me more than half a year probably. So I can make a lot of other videos about a lot of smaller games in that time. But eventually I will likely maybe get to it. I did play Human Revolution, so that one may be more likely for me to cover if anything. But yeah, also ginormous community, mods and shit, dope. Dishonored 2. Never played any of these, but in general I understood that it was appreciated and kind of lamented in the sense that nothing came out after Dishonored 2 of the world or of the mechanical approach or stuff like that. I don't know. Again, not something I played, but maybe I would have, could have. I don't think about should have necessarily, because again, it falls into that weird sort of stealthy first person approach, which for some reason hasn't for me. Can't explain it. I make no excuses for it. It just is what it is. Oh, Dark Souls Remastered, because I was talking earlier. Again, I never played any of these. The one I did play, like I said earlier, Mortal Shell, and I enjoyed. And I also played Immortal Planet, which is Souls-like, but it's isometric, and it's kind of cel-shaded, and it's colored in this comic-ish book style sort of thing. So, not this. Undertale generally pops up in this list regardless of how many RPGs there are, but in this one it's that much more important. Never played it because it didn't appeal to me, to be honest, despite my interest in retro and stuff like that. But I do understand, and I have read a bunch about it, that it was and still is quite impactful and influencing and stuff like that. So cool. Divinity Original Sin 2. Huh. Okay. I mean, not in the sense that it shouldn't be here. But from what I understand, because I didn't play it, it's a great CRPG. But again, it's just so many RPGs, and especially CRPGs on the list. It's like this list is really nothing like last year. It's really nothing like it, and I think that's just we'll do final thoughts. I'll do final thoughts once we're done. But I did play the first one. Okay, let's rewind. I played the first Divinity Original Sin, and I've also played the first Divinity, which is called Divine Divinity. The first Divinity Original Sin is super fun. I think I don't know if I got halfway through it, but I played quite a bit. But again, different things were happening in my life, and the sort of attention and passion for it and focus wasn't there for it at that time. What I do remember liking a lot about it was that you could cook, and I would just make pizza and French fries, because look, I love pizza. Not pizza and French fries together, although that can work. Not the French fries on pizza. You just make your preferred pizza, and then you just make French fries and you eat, take a bite of pizza, nom nom nom, stuff in some French fries, you continue to nom nom. That's how that works. You can also put the French fries on the pizza, but you don't really win anything. And in fact, I think you may lose some stuff. But yeah, anyway, it depends. It depends if you're going for taste, flavor, and or mouthfeel. And for me, it's about mouthfeel when those and taste, of course. Yeah, the Village just into dope. Whoa, Planescape Torment. Hello. Yeah. Play this game. I should play much more of this game. It is an RPG, but it's also one where there's a lot of text. And the thing about the text is it's fucking dark. And not dark in a horror sort of sense, but dark in a human sense. Like the subject matters that are talked about and how they're talked about is it yeah, mind you, it's not as dark as I have no mouth and I must scream. That game I played and I never want to touch again, or even say more than I have said about it. Dark in the nature of a man, and again, a lot of other sort of things. Minecraft. I never played Minecraft, and you'd think, again, it's weird if I tell people I'm into city builders, and I am. You'd think something like Minecraft appealed to me. It never did. It's weird. The human brain, even a neurospicy one. I mean, granted, mine is neurospicy, which is fair enough. But again, you'd think I would have played it or had interest. Not really. Thief Gold. I did. Thief is a dark project. I played it a bit and I dig it. But again, I think this is now the oldest one. It's 98. But again, I think this was a game that I should have had like in high school. And I didn't, because I didn't have a computer capable of playing this till 2004. So again, like I was saying earlier, sometimes some art has to catch us at the right time in our life journey. I'm not necessarily talking about chronological time in the sense of age X or age Y. I'm talking about where you are in your life journey. Hey, it's a good thing you're no. It's a really solid game, Founder's Box. I'm just saying I would have enjoyed it much more if it caught me in at a different point in my life story. Prey. This is an interesting title to show up because of something because of the game I've been playing, and hopefully the video I'll have ready for Halloween. Well, earlier than Halloween, next week sometime, hopefully. Yeah, I understand. I think this is the there's two games called Prey. I don't know if this is the first one or the second one. Either way, yeah, it's fun. Okay, so this is the second one. Either way, I've heard good stuff about it. RimWorld, heard about this. Never actually got around to it. Yeah, it's a colony sim builder, yeah. Yeah, Jovial Nobody. I've seen some videos about it, and I think I know which one this is. It's the one with the sort of maybe ambiguous ending. Oh, because we were it's Sekiro Shadows Die Twice. Earlier it said it's like a Sekiro-like game. Sekiro is peerless apparently. Oh, okay. So apparently it does something maybe separately different or just really better than the previous ones. I don't know. That was the way I play. I do know a lot of people played it, so, and I still do. Half-Life 2. I'm not gonna get into this discussion again. I was never impressed by the first Half-Life, so I never really played the second one. And that's it. Baldur's Gate 2 Enhanced Edition. Baldur's Gate 2 and 1 had a different issue for me, and that was the not turn-based combat. I tried playing both of them, even way back then, and they weren't Fallout, unfortunately. And I really loved Fallout. I still do. It's turn-based. And the turn-based aspect is really important to those of us who love turn-based RPGs. It's not necessarily a deal breaker, but it's close to a deal breaker in most cases. The only, let me think. Yeah, the only sort of situation where real time with pause or wait for orders, as it's also called, an RPG that did that is Tyranny. And that is only because Tyranny limits your party to 4 characters, as opposed to Pillars of Eternity, where you had something like 6, at least back when I played it. You still have 6, but in the sense that back when I played it, like everything was clusterfucky. On the screen, I couldn't track what was happening, who was casting what or where. So Baldur's Gate 2 and 1, because of the real time with pause thingy, it was really difficult for me to get into them at that time because I was very much into the turn-based mode. I was playing Fallout, the Fallouts 1 and 2, and Heroes of Might and Magic. Both series, by definition, turn-based games. So I know I'm at a loss here because I have tried, subsequently I've tried playing Baldur's Gate 2 again, and no, it still didn't click. That said, Neverwinter Nights, the first one, which is likewise real time, or pause for orders. That one I can kind of get my mind around just because the turns, the cooldowns and I can see the time taken. I can see how much time it takes for the characters to basically take their turns. Again, there's no reason it it should be real time, to be honest. It could so much better just be turn-based, but whatever. So yeah, it's hard. It's hard to have a very black and white sort of approach to life in general. But look, I am glad to see it here again. See CRPG, classic CRPG, to be honest. Kingdom Come Deliverance 2. Never played any of these games, but grand strategy with a bunch of RPG elements. I'm all for it. Unfortunately, in my sort of time slot for the games I cover, they really didn't have the technical, the hardware wasn't there to create anything like this. But I have been thinking about covering the first Europa Universalis. So that should be interesting. XCOM 2. Yeah. 2016. Well, I haven't played XCOM 2. I've heard it's pretty good. I played the first one. Well, I've played the two first ones. I've played the original one from Microprose from, I want to say 94. Let's give me a sec. Yes, 94. I got it. So I played that one, of course, a lot. And I played the new one from, I'm gonna say 2012 or 13. Give me a sec. The Firaxis one, if I'm not mistaken. Fucking shit. Mm-hmm. 2012, yeah. XCOM Enemy Unknown, just called XCOM Enemy Unknown. So yeah, 2012. And I played that one and I really dug that one. I haven't played XCOM 2. I understand it's really good and it just builds on what the first one did. The second first one. So definitely, yeah, dope. Doom. The first Doom. Okay. They call it the forever FPS. Fair enough. Not necessarily just forever, but you can run it on anything. Yeah. I mean, conceptually, yes, very playable. Would a lot of younger peeps get into it? I don't know. I think maybe the graphics would be a bit of off-putting. And to be honest, it's also really hard to describe or to explain how impactful Doom was. But yeah, it is a clear classic of PC gaming, especially PC gaming. And it not only created the fundamentals of first-person shooters, but it also allowed for development of very complex and much more intricate games on PCs in general. It was, it's an inflection point, basically, in PC gaming history and gaming history in general. Red Dead Redemption 2. I've heard a lot of stuff about both these games, and one of the more interesting things I've heard is that the second one actually has these separate sort of communities that play the game just to ride horses together, like a club, which is super interesting. It's something that I doubt the developers had in mind when they made the game, but it just goes to show of how once you put something out there, you're never really sure how people will either A, interpret it, which is part of art. You're kind of, once it's out there, it's out there. And second of all, you don't know how people will use it. And, you know, there's always modding and stuff like that, which is part of it. But there's also these other sort of emergent gameplay, in the sense of emergent mechanics, more or less, emergent modes of play that really have nothing to do with your core loop. I find that to be much more interesting than the game itself. This Elden Ring thing is still on the list. It's still much too young to be one of the best games, but again, I'm not, I don't know what to tell you. I understand it's fun and whatnot, and people like it, and again, if you like it, fine. Balatro. Now, I only happen to, and this is really new, so it's here because it's new, but it kind of has the potential to be one of these games that has a fairly long tail. The only reason I know Balatro is just because I actually read an article or two about it, because of the big sort of impact it had. And from what I understand, it's been reaching into not even casual gamers, but people who aren't into video games, but who are into card games. Which that in itself is also interesting. I obviously never played it, but again, if people enjoy it, sure. Caves of Kud. I think, yeah, it's a tile-based roguelike. Yeah, I think I've seen this game being developed for a couple of years, for a bunch of years on various social medias. But I haven't really looked into it. Because again, once I really stopped being part of, once I really stopped covering indie games, I kind of really disconnected from those communities in general. And I've just been focusing on my retro stuff. Stardew Valley. Talk about, we've been talking throughout the stream about crack and whatnot. Talk about cozy crack. This is that, as far as I understand, that's what Stardew Valley is. And again, it's the type of game that I would be kind of reticent to try to play, because I'm pretty sure it would just like absorb my entire time. But I know people love it and have been digging it for close to 10 years by now, so that's nice. Look, if you've been like, in order to be on one of these top 100 lists, at least, yeah, I say you need to be at least 5 years old as a video game. And this one's clearly at least 5 years old, because longevity has to do with your impact as well. So if you're still on the list and you're still being played actively and the community is still alive past the 5-year mark, you can be considered for a top 100. Crusader Kings 3, yet another sort of series I should have played, but it didn't click with me at the right time. Again, grand strategy with RPG elements. Dope. The Witcher 3 Wild Hunt. look, I played the first Witcher at release when the giant spider boss was bugged, and I only got past it because I glitched through basically to get past it, and I enjoyed it. I actually really liked it quite a bit, to be honest, the first one. Then I played the second one, and the second one was fine. I was okay. But after the second one, I had no further interest in neither the world nor the characters. And yet the third one has proven to be the big big crossover demo hit. And I don't feel like I really missed anything, to be honest. Because again, if I don't have an interest in it, it just doesn't exist. But as I said earlier about Cyberpunk 2077, it does help keep the lights on GOG, and that's what I am focused on: the preservation and documentation of PC gaming in general. Dwarf Fortress, oh my. Look, I didn't try. I looked into getting and playing some Dwarf Fortress. I don't remember when, some years ago. But it was just so much. It was just so much of everything that I was like, you know what? I'd just rather not. And that says that you should do that if you're interested in it. Nonsense speed, as it were. But sometimes there's so much hype that I stop caring, and sometimes something is so big already that I don't feel like I want to get into it. And that's separated in two things. So on the one hand, is like I've been talking about Deus Ex or VTMB, that the game itself has so much depth and interest, and it interests me so much that I know it would take a long time for me to get a very solid feeling or sense of what it is. And then there's something like Dwarf Fortress, where there's just so much everything that it's overwhelming. And the other thing, the same thing happened with Path of Exile. Like the moment I played a little bit of the first Path of Exile many years ago, and I was kind of like, oh, this is kind of interesting. I should try this at a certain point. And I never really tried it. And a few years ago, when they announced Path of Exile 2, I was like, you know what? I'm gonna play that, because even if it will surely have some amount of crossover with the first one, at least it feels like something new, and I can start something with a bunch of other people that start something, or I can begin something when it's still relatively fresh, not when it has, I don't know, 10 or 15 years worth of content behind it, and lore and information and shit. Sometimes that can be cool. It depends a lot on the person, and it depends a lot on the property we're talking about. Because, for instance, if you were to play any Star Wars or Star Trek title, you're already wading into literal decades of stuff. In the case of Star Trek, it's 60 years. Yeah. In the case of Star Wars, it's technically 50, but arguably less, but still kind of the same, just because of the large amount of stuff that's been coming out ever since the Disney takeover. So yeah, sometimes there is too much of a good thing, basically. Sometimes there is such a thing as too much of a good thing. Disco Elysium Final Cut, this is something that I definitely should have played, and unfortunately I didn't, because it's too new. I know, it sucks. But hey, we're in top 10, and there was The Witcher. That doesn't count. Red Dead Redemption is not really an RPG, but fair enough. Caves of Cud maybe is part RPG, I'm not sure. But we had Witcher, Disco Elysium, which is kind of an RPG. Oh, and it's Baldur's Gate 3. Yeah. Talk about crossover stuff and super popular stuff that also happens to be good and quality and deep and stuff. Nice. Let's see some personal picks. Lies of P Overture, that's kind of new. Uplink, never heard of it. Ninja Gaiden 2 Black, okay. Fields of Mystria, kind of heard of this one. Deep Rock Galactic Survivor, we have Deep Rock Galactic. Pathfinder Wrath of the Righteous. Monster Train 2, never heard of it. EDF 5, okay. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles Shredder's Revenge, okay. Anno 1800. Zork Grand Inquisitor, that is surprising. Oh, so yeah, okay, so they didn't actually put Sky and Prairie Man. Fucking nice. Norco Skin Deep Yakuza Like a Dragon, Metro Exodus, arguable. Magic the Gathering Arena, okay. Interesting. All Skies, Rain World, okay, that's about it. Exactly, Dev. So, ending thoughts. Yes, I think Baldur's Gate 3 created like a breach in mainstream reality. It crossed over so hard that it actually made a fraction of the people playing it interested in CRPGs. And look, considering the type of content I make, I can only be happy and thankful about that. Not only that, but this year's list really felt, I mean, actually felt different than last year's. First of all, because of the really large number of CRPGs. Now, sure, Tyranny wasn't on the list, but that's just because I'm not one of the writers or editors. I'm also surprised that a fair few adventure titles, which granted, even if I haven't heard of them because they're new, that's still a pretty good sign. It's also arguable if the older adventure titles are, maybe a harder sell. However, having a list that features adventure titles but doesn't have, I don't know, the longest journey on it, it feels a bit wonky. On the other hand, they may be appealing to a much more recent gamer sort of demo. But yeah, and we can argue there's a bunch of other more important classic adventure games, and that's true. Grim Fandango comes to mind, things I've covered. But when it comes to like a game that has a very cool story and interesting characters and depth and thinkiness, longest journey is there. Yeah, Dev, they should have the 5 years old rule, but again, since I'm not one of the writers and editors, I have no power over it. So yeah, that's it's gonna be interesting to see next year's list. But also, yeah, I don't think I've seen. Nice to not see Skyrim on the list. That was dope, and they put Morrowind, which I think I actually said that last year. That if I were to have one Elder Scrolls title on these lists, I would put Morrowind. Also surprised to see both FTL and Into the Breach. Yeah, no racing games. They had Rocket League though, so you can argue that. Yeah, racing games. Also, not only just no racing games, but very few pew pew games. Really, very few multiplayer games, and most of the multiplayer games are either comedy or funny co-op multiplayer. There were very few, like I said, no Apex Legends or PUBGs or not even Battlefield. Yeah, they had Arma 3 and maybe one more, but fewer though of those as well. Having Dragon Age, yeah, Dragon Age Origins is nice, but that one is a crossover hit. But having Shadowrun Dragonfall was really dope. They put this here, whatever. But fair enough, Doom is Doom. Yeah. Let's see if I've had any other thoughts. New Vegas. Look, you need a Fallout on these lists, and it should be New Vegas, most likely. Because again, it's about what's super playable, and while the first two are still playable for those like me, they're a bit of a harder sell for people who haven't really grown up with that sort of beginning difficulty level. Yeah, so Hunt Showdown is one sort of pew pew multiplayer, but it's very different. Is this multiplayer? 6v6, okay, maybe this kind of count, but it's not the battle royale thing. I mean, yeah, super interesting. Oh yeah, by the way, no Zeldas. Which, if I remember correctly, I think there was some Zelda shit in the last one, even if it shouldn't really have been. But maybe I'm just being a dick. I don't know. I haven't looked through all of it, through all of the thing from last year. But otherwise, yeah, not. I mean, surprisingly, much like Heroes, the olden era, surprisingly not bad. Really surprisingly not bad. Oh, okay, Echo Point. I think it's an open world FPS. Yeah. Well, honestly, now graphics real. Sports games haven't been in these lists for a long time. Yeah, not bad. Would I be interested in playing any of them? Not necessarily. I would just be interested in knowing more about them. This Blueprints thing sounds interesting, like a adventure game roguelite. That sounds kind of interesting. Other than that, I don't think I've read anything that would have maybe piqued my interest, or that I didn't know about. Jazz Jackrabbit on here? No, unfortunately, Jazz Jackrabbit only makes it on my lists. It's that one's never gonna make it on any of these lists. Trust me. Yeah. Yeah, interesting. Deus Ex. Quite interesting. Quite not really what I was expecting. Again, surprisingly not bad, and overall sort of pleasantly surprised. Pleasantly surprised of the large amount of CRPGs, and also it actually had two sort of city builders, which I think last year we didn't have at all, or maybe it was just one. Yeah, I'm kind of looking forward to see any of these other, if we're gonna get some other top 100 lists this year, from whatever outlets. But you know, it has to be for PC games of all times, or video games of all times in general, because if it's about new stuff, as I've made it clear, that's not my domain anymore. But yeah, it was surprisingly very. I'm very surprised. That's all I gotta say. Yeah. Well, let's get ready to wind down with my Drakensang soundtrack. Yeah, so that was this list, and thank you for having been around. That was definitely, it's always nice when I make these reaction streams. More people tend to show up, and I like that. I also like more people to show up on my normal streams, but you know, it is what it is. If we're gonna get some other of these top 100 lists, I'll make sure to stream reactions to them. Next week is Halloweeny, and I am working on a special Halloween themed-ish video. Now, I'm gonna do my best to get it out on Monday, but if I don't, I need to get it out at least like up until the end of the actual month. But it's a video that it is Halloween-ish, as in it's in the horror genre, let's say, and I'm doing something special with the video itself and a little bit with its content. So that's why it may take, I don't know if I can get it done over the weekend, but I'll definitely do my best. So that's what's gonna happen. Other than that, I am thinking about actually streaming on Halloween, on Halloweeny night. And I know what I'm gonna stream. I need to test it out. It will be related to the video I will be releasing. But that's about it from me. I've been Stephen Nonsens. Thank you very much for watching. If you're gonna buy a game from GOG, please use my affiliate link in the description. Thank you for watching, and good luck out there.